Does hurricane damage negatively impact your real estate value?
Is this a trick question? Hello everybody, my name is Barry Horvath and this is Moving Forward TV with your local market update.
And I am DeLynn Gaston. Thank you for joining us today. So we're so excited about today's show, mostly because we have Dunkin' Donuts right now. And that makes us happy.
Hey, there's nothing better than Dunkin' Donuts during hurricane season. That's what I'm saying.
I know, right? You have a hurricane and you need a coffee.
So it's hard to believe like hurricane season has come upon us.
We're in the middle of it.
Yeah,
and so far only one, thank God.
Yeah.
Right?
Two.
That was the table talking. The table says two.
That's
the
amazing.
table is smarter than me.
I know. I like our table. It's very wise. It's very wise. So
the question is, though, which we were pretty surprised at the answer.
Does it affect?
Does it affect the value of real estate?
I would absolutely say it slaughters the values. That's just, without knowing what I know now.
I know.
I would have thought, oh, it destroyed it because people are afraid to build in those areas, they think, that a hurricane destroys their home and no one's going to want to live there.
Well, I can remember actually standing in the grocery store line and somebody had said, everybody, of course, is like getting water because a hurricane is on its way. And there was a woman in front of me and she was saying she was from California and she was done. She couldn't handle the anticipation of watching the hurricane come across the Atlantic.
Right.
So she was just like totally freaking out. She said, I'm going back to California. I'd rather deal with earthquakes any day.
But at least with hurricanes, you have a warning.
Right.
With an earthquake, there's no warning. I mean, we're all staring at spaghetti models for like 2 weeks, right?
I know that, and I guess that she found that personally, I would rather. I don't know.
We're in an earthquake. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you're like in the midst of it. That would freak me out.
Totally, me too. So,
at least
but
with a hurricane, you can prepare. You can you can embrace the situation.
You can batten down your hatches, so you can
have
protect
a
your
party.
home. So the question comes down to, so of course we all think, yes, it is going to affect our real estate value. We were kind of surprised at some of the statistics. So it says basically that right after we had Irma come through last year and Texas had Harvey, right?
Yes.
And then Puerto Rico had Maria. So lots of hurricanes last year, and it devastated the areas that it did hit. Obviously, we here in Florida did get hit pretty hard, smack dab middle of the state. The entire state was in a declared disaster area. Right after that, the home sales in the state of Florida dropped by 50%.
The values?
Yes, that is pretty big.
So the values dropped or the number of sales dropped?
Number of sales dropped.
Okay.
So but it's apparently very short-lived because just 2 months later, everything is back up again.
So you're telling me people have short-term
People in Florida have short-term memories.
And even, was it Harvey that hit Texas, right?
Harvey hit Texas.
And all that flooding, same thing there.
Same thing.
For 2 months it was down, sales were slow, and I think what happens is people rebuild, remodel, and then they all jumping back in.
And everybody's fear is that it's going to affect their value because, now it's it's not like it's a car that was in, water damaged from, a hurricane or a flood or something like that. The homes are rebuilt, they're redone, and if you did have flooding, I believe it's disclosed.
Yes.
You guys would know better than we. And people want the house anyway, so.
Right. Well, let's face it, today's homes are built to sustain hurricanes. They put the new, the new strapping, the new roof styles. They're just made. The windows now are made.
Right.
And I think too, maybe they're being remodeled. So that remodeled home brings up values in an area.
And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah,
exactly.
so
They
everybody
figure we're remodeling anyway. We're fixing all this hurricane damage. We may as well redo the bathroom. Now we got new tile floors or whatever.
and that could be part of the situation. So
the values are not
that's the bottom line.
Negatively. We were kind of surprised.
Yeah.
So who are buying these houses that whether they're hurricane damaged or not? Repaired.
Yeah. So you know what? Just to go back to what you're saying, rental values.
Oh yeah.
Also.
Rentals. Yes.
Also go up in value even after a hurricane. So go figure.
And right now, we all know the rental market is really high out there. A lot of you real estate professionals out there, when somebody calls you about a rental, I know most of you are saying, have you thought about buying? Because the mortgage payments are typically less than sometimes what they can get with a rent, the same or less. So I know a lot of you are talking, and especially by the time they put down first month's rent, last month's rent,
sure, security deposit,
all of that stuff, they have a down payment.
And you need a pet fee,
Right, and a pet fee. So in any event, who is our target market right now?
Well, I'll tell you who's buying.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I am.
Single older women.
I knew that.
How did you know? Did you find it on a dating site?
No, because just a lot of the files that I've been working on lately are single women.
Yeah.
Not necessarily all older, but a lot of them are single older women.
I mean, let's face it, the number one homeownership people in the country are families, couples.
Right, number one, absolutely.
Bar none. But right there behind them, single older women.
Yes, in fact it says, one moment, let me get my statistics out here. So it said, last year, single older women made up 8.2% of all home buyers, roughly double what it was 20 years ago. Single older women. These women are also buying homes. I love this one. They're also buying homes at a rate of nearly twice as their male counterparts.
So the men, older men.
I don't know where the men are going, but the women are buying houses.
You know what the men are doing? The men are shacking up with them.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just saying.
Probably. So the statistics, the article goes on to say that a lot of divorces, people wait until after the children are out of college, out of, whatever, and then they get divorced, sadly.
Right.
And, I don't know where the guys are going, like I said, but the women are going out and buying houses.
And when you're saying single older women, you mean women over 55.
55, right, and up.
Now, coming up, we've got some statistics on millennials on why they may not be buying, and we're going to tell you more about that in just a minute. All right, we're back, everybody.
Hi, back.
Hi.
Aha.
You know what's so funny?
See what happens when it's late in the day?
I know we talked about the lunch and learns when I was telling my bad jokes, and I said, "Don't worry, it's going to get funnier." And you said, "No, it's not."
No, it's not.
I love that line.
Did you notice everyone on this side of the room where I was standing cracked up?
Yeah, I did. It's not going to get any funny.
I'm like, did I say that out loud?
I know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I said, no, it's not.
So
I've known
speaking
him
of
for
our
a long
lunch and
time. It's
learns,
not.
the biggest feedback we do, because we do a monthly lunch and learn for our real estate partners
Many of
and
you come
professionals.
to.
Yeah, yesterday we had 53 people show
I
up.
know,
Thank
that's
you
nice.
to everybody who came. And it was a great learning experience, but they're always asking for marketing help. But you know what?
Right.
What we're covering right now.
Marketing. That's the number one request we get.
You got to know, it's so funny. I talk to different companies on how they market and what they do. And I think what we do works. And I think you need to find your niche and figure out what works for you. But I think you need to target those. You not only need to know what's selling, but who's buying.
Right.
And if you're not targeting those people, then you're wasting your time or spending a lot of precious dollars that you shouldn't be. So single women,
that's
single
a big one.
older women.
Single older women.
Market to those single older
Right.
women.
If you're marketing just to millennials, because we've known for a little while now that millennials were doing a lot of the buying, then you're missing the whole boat on single older women who have sold their big house and they're downsizing and the kids are out of the house now and they're buying something small. You got to market to them as well.
Or they're, I hate to say this, but they're divorced.
Well, that's what most of them are.
And they got half of the ex's assets, so they have their money to put down and buy. Mm-hmm. Or they took over their pension.
A lot of them are cash buyers too, which of course we don't like in our side of the transaction, but you guys love it.
Absolutely. So anyway, single women, you want to target them to marketing.
Yep.
And then
I don't want to, if I can, not just the older women.
This is my show.
Not just the older women. I know that's what the statistics say, but personally speaking, right here in our area, I have done so many single younger women, and I think I've said that before too. A lot of nurses and professionals, teachers, single women, young women as well, are also out there buying houses.
Yeah, first-time home buyers.
I have done more than twice as many single women as I've done single men.
And do you think maybe it's because they are educating themselves more on, the fact that buying can be less expensive than renting? They want to get out of, the house.
I do.
They're looking at maybe the possible tax advantages, the appreciation possibly of home ownership, the pride of home ownership.
And they're looking at, I could either, they're being smart, I could either rent for $1,500 a month, this nice house,
right?
Or I could buy it, and my mortgage payment is about $1,200 a month.
So guys, you need to step it up, okay?
Step it up, guys.
Let's go,
Time to buy.
All right, so let's talk about millennials, because we did some research on millennial buyers, and I want you guys to consider targeting them as your prospects.
Right,
again.
and don't say, oh, yeah, we've heard it. Yes, we've all heard it, because it's true.
Yeah, they are buying, but a lot of them aren't, because they're not educated yet on...
That's the biggest part. I think that's the biggest challenge that we all have. Maybe it's not marketing ideas. We need to figure out how to educate, again, the single men out there, as well as the millennials and stuff, because here's some of the research that we've done.
Well, let's talk about the barriers.
Okay. So in the research that we've done, what are the barriers? What are the things that are stopping the millennials or whomever from going to buy a house?
Well, I'm going to tell you, things are different.
Should we drum roll it?
No, we shouldn't drum roll it, because it's not that exciting. But it is. It's important though.
It is.
Things are different because when the baby boomers came out, remember, they got married younger.
People I found that part very interesting.
People are waiting to get married.
I know, in the baby boomer generation, they all got, like by 22, they were married with a house and a kid on the way.
Exactly. Now, it's 26, 28, and even into their 30s.
Before they get married.
So the market has changed.
Yes.
So it's shifted. So, and I think that couples, when they were young, they would be willing to, they saved.
Right.
And they want to do, they would skip a vacation or 2 or 3 or whatever it took to get that down payment for a house. So, but in today's millennial, they're not willing to skip vacation.
No.
They want to go out to eat. They want to have a glass of wine with dinner or 2 or 3 or whatever. And they want to Uber home.
And they want to play and they want all their toys and everything else.
So they're not willing to save. So here's the reality
There's no sacrifice.
No, there's not. But I'm going to tell you though, in our research, 53% of the millennials first and biggest barrier was they feel they can't afford the down payment.
So here's what we have to say to the millennials as far as that goes. There are many down payment assistance programs that are out there and that are available, and they need to research that and take a look at it. They might not qualify and fit into all of them, but at the very least, try.
Can I say something to that?
Yes.
If you're a real estate professional and you're watching this show, you need to get out and educate these millennials on options they may have to buy their first home.
And the down payment, even when they, without, going down the down payment assistance path,
and
it's small, as little as 3% down.
Or
USDA is 100% financing.
And maybe VA,
100% financing.
And even conventional, there's still 3% down programs.
I think a lot of people, whether they're millennials or not, but they have the stigma in their head that they need 20% down. They need a big down payment. All I have is $6,000. That can get them into a house.
And this is my favorite. I don't want to pay PMI, so I'm going to save more money, and they do. But what's happening right now is home values continue to go up.
Right.
So it costs more, and rates continue to go up. Okay. So we got more ideas on this and programs and the barriers of why millennials aren't buying, and we need your help to get the word out. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You know what I love about our show?
What?
Us.
I thought you were going to say something good. We are good.
No, we're good. We're fun. We're fun. And we try to, the home buying process.
We crack us up anyway.
Yeah, we think we're funny, but you don't think I get funnier. That's the best part. All right, we're talking about millennials.
Yes.
And their buying
and
trends.
The barriers, why they're not jumping off the fence and to buy a house, because there's
So we already said 53% of them think they can't afford the down payment. You as a real estate professional, go after them and educate them and tell them, wait a minute, you might be able to get in. I only got a few grand. Well, maybe you can get in.
Yes, yes.
All right, and of course they can get a gift too. We didn't mention that.
That's right. And they don't know that either. And they can borrow from their 401k in a lot of instances, and they don't know that either. What you and I think is normal things that everybody knows, they don't. So please help us share the word. Talk to them and let them know there's always options out there.
So that's the number one barrier. The next barrier is
38.
Actually, it's 33.
Sorry, I can't read my own writing.
33% say they can't qualify for a mortgage. What the heck?
I don't know what they're thinking there either. I mean, unless I've spoken to somebody who said that, but you guys all know, tell them to get a second opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Guidelines are loosening up.
A lot.
A
Guidelines
lot.
have
I mean,
really loosened
you
up.
know, we have programs now where we go down to like 500.
Right.
But-
and we can go to a 50% debt ratio.
And if you
in a
call-
lot of cases.
and if you call-
sometimes even more.
Listen, if you call me with all your 500 borrowers and nobody else, I'm going to hang up on you. I'm just kidding. I'll never hang up on anybody.
But the bottom
But
line
they're
is
out there.
That's
They're out there.
That's an
So-
incorrect
Yeah,
thing.
so who says they can't qualify?
Right.
You know, maybe if their credit score's
Tell
a
them
2.
to call us. Tell them
That's
to
it.
talk to us.
Even the bank state programs now are
And we're
out
not
there.
going to run their credit right away. That's the other thing I found, that people think, you know, they're afraid to call.
Right.
I was just
Because they
speaking with
think
one
we're
of our
going to take an
realtor
application
friends
fee
recently.
that we can't collect anymore.
And they think I'm going to run, first thing I'm going to do is run credit. No, the last thing I'm going to do is run credit. I'm going to qualify them first. I'm going to run through a series of questions. I'm going to make sure these
You're
people
going to prick their finger and
understand.
take their vitals.
Yes.
Yes.
And if
And it
it's
doesn't
not going to
hurt.
work right now,
It
one of the
doesn't
first
hurt.
things I say to them is, do you know what your credit score is? Because I'm going to work on what they think it is. And most of the time they say, well, you know, Credit Karma says this. That gives me an idea. That gives me a snapshot for right now. Or they say, you know, my Capital One card, you know, gives me, you know, and that's good enough for me for right now. Let's just get the ball rolling with that.
That's good. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on with our statistics and our research. So,
All right, 28% of them say that it's more convenient to rent.
okay, maybe.
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 Most of the time they want to do that because they don't want to cut the grass, they don't want to take care of the pool, they don't want to trim the bushes, they don't want to do that kind of stuff. Then buy a townhome.
Yeah.
Then buy a condo.
Exactly.
Buy something
Or-
somebody else
Or
takes
hire
care
a
of the
long
maintenance.
guy. My long guy's so good and cheap.
Yeah. See?
Crazy. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
They say
Right.
it's 26% say it's cheaper to rent. So we said, so we looked at each other and we said, what are we going to say about that? No,
Nothing.
it's not. No, we all
No.
know it's not.
No.
Rents have gone through the roof lately.
Yes, and they continue to increase. You know, by buying and having a 30-year level fixed mortgage, wouldn't you sleep better at night knowing that next year your payment's not going to go up?
Right.
Your 1-year lease is going to go up.
Right. And that's the danger of renting. When people say, oh, it's just so much easier or whatever. Yeah, but you know
Yep.
what? Next year, I know what my payment is going to be. If you're renting, your landlord can go up on your rent as soon as your lease is up.
And I love this one. 23 or 24% say, I plan on moving soon. Well, maybe.
Where to?
I got to tell you.
To another rent?
How many people have told you, yeah, I'm not keeping this house long, I'm moving, and then 5 years from now they call you.
They're
"How's
still
it?"
there.
They're still in the house. Yeah. I mean,
Can I refinance and pull some equity out because I want to put a pool in?
yeah. So
Which is fine.
you might be moving. I mean, maybe your job says that, but you know, think it
Right.
through. Are you really going to move? No, people don't want to really move.
Which kind of goes into the next one. 23% of the people say that owning, of our millennials here, 23% say owning is a big financial risk.
All right. Can I?
Not owning is a bigger financial
yeah,
risk.
because you're throwing rent away. You know what?
Yes.
People who bought in 03, 04, 05 and wanted to sell in 08, 09,
We get it.
They lost. I
We
get
get
it.
it.
But that was one segment at a time. If you look at the long
Right.
haul,
Good
if
point.
you're buying into real estate and you're going to hold for 5 years, you know, statistics show that
Right.
you're going to probably have a gain. I mean, I bought my first house at the, you know, probably during the worst time ever. And it still sold for a couple thousand more after, you know, later.
But
so.
in today's society, people who bought, let's say afterward, 2010, 2011, by now, there's quite a bit of appreciation. Even people who bought like in 2014, if they're selling it now, there's quite a bit of appreciation. So they think it's a big financial risk.
I think the
No.
risk is to not to buy.
The risk is, the bigger financial risk is not buying, because at the very least, and they're building up equity. Even if this isn't their dream home or whatever, or they think it might be a risk, they're building equity, they're putting money aside, and they're not just throwing it out the window like they are with rent.
Right. And 11% of our surveyed people say they just prefer to rent. Whatever.
Okay.
Maybe their life is simpler, maybe. Okay.
Right.
So that means 89% of the people are willing to buy.
There you go.
So think
Let's
about
go
that,
after those
Mr.
89%
Realtors.
of
I
the
agree.
people, because we could all use them.
I agree. Forget about the
That's
other.
it.
Yeah, it's all good. So let's talk
11%
about
other. We're not sure what they mean by that.
Yeah, that
they're
means
moving to Mars.
those people just don't want to talk to us. They didn't want to tell us the real
They're moving
answer.
to the International Space Center.
So let's talk about upcoming community events. Now we covered all
Upcoming
this.
events that we have, I know. The Raise Bus Trip is coming up.
Yes.
If you haven't already signed up, you might want to do that. As you guys know, or if you don't
It's
know,
almost sold out.
our bus trips are getting famous here, and they sell out pretty quickly, and they're very, very fun.
They are fun.
So this one is going to the Raise game. It is August 3rd.
August 3rd, Friday night, we're meeting at Johnny Brusco's with some appetizers.
Johnny Brusco's, which is up there right on
And let me
Duxlow
tell you,
and 54.
Yes, let me tell you the best part. The seats are in section 205. They're kind of behind home plate at the club press level.
Nice.
Leather back
Press level.
seats.
You know where
Yeah.
you're walking around and you have to stop and turn around? Well, guess what? You don't.
I'm going to tell you right now, you can't even buy the seat for the price that we're doing the whole trip for. So go online to WPBA.biz. I think there's a few seats left.
1 minute.
Or WPBA.rocks. And it's a bus trip, and it takes, you don't have to pay for parking or anything else. The bus there, we usually have some adult
Refreshments
beverages,
on board.
refreshments on board,
Yes.
as well as Johnny Brusco's, of course, appetizers ahead of time.
And they're gonna
that's
have
all
special-
included in your price, and it's a lot of fun.
It's going to be a great time. And then, of course, we have Bowling for Boobs coming up.
Bowling for Boobs, one of our favorite events. That is to the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is the month of October. We have it the last week in September.
September
So it's September 25th.
Tuesday
it's a
night.
Tuesday night.
It's going to be great.
Get
Gonna
your
be fun.
teams together. This is a blast. Also
Pre-sale
look at
pricing is on there.
WPBA.biz or WPBA.rocks. Just look up the event. You can see some pictures from last year.
And you want to
it's a
talk about
blast.
that veterans? Give the dates on that.
July 26th, there is a Veterans Homeownership Fair at the West Pasco Board of Realtors, and it is for veterans. We're going to be talking about mortgages that they can get, home inspections, things like that. What are the options for a veteran? The VA loan right now is the best loan that's out there. Always has been, but it is such a good loan, and a lot of veterans either don't think that they can get it, or they don't understand it at all. So we're there to teach them and help them get through that. So if you know any veterans, there are some things. Please go to the West Pasco Board of Realtors Facebook page or website and share that flyer to the veterans
Okay,
in
so
the
here's the
area.
best part of our show. It's over. Share it, like it.
Not the best part.
No, here's the
Thank you
good.
for watching.
But here's the good news. You get to watch us again next week. So tune in. Same time, same place.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We are Today and Every Day.
Moving forward.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.